This is that's only Carl's Jr. Dude, what a what a ridiculous thing to have on any menu anywhere. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for watching. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Clark Hill. For those of you who do know me, well, I'm still Clark Hill. Now, I started to take my fitness and nutrition seriously when I was 21 years old. I'm 31 now, so I've been doing this for a little bit over 10 years now. When I first started, I was super hardcore into the meal prep, bodybuilder lifestyle. I had my little Tupperwares of chicken and rice every 3 hours, and I did that for a long time, and as I've gotten older, I've shied away from that. So if you already follow me on social media, you know that what I'm a big proponent of now is flexible dieting, which basically just means that as long as you're meeting your calorie needs and your macronutrient needs, i.e. your protein, fat, and carbs throughout the day, you can more or less eat whatever you want. Now, one of the strategies that I like to use to keep my diet fresh and entertaining and to keep me from getting bored of it is to take pre-existing fast food unhealthy recipes and make them macro-friendly. Change out certain ingredients, cook them a different way to make them meet my goals. So today I'm going to show you 5 different recipes for different fast food breakfast items and show you the strategies that I use to take something that is unhealthy and make it healthy, for lack of a better term. First on the list is something that has become so synonymous with breakfast, especially talking about fast food in America, that when you think of fast food breakfast, this is usually the first thing that pops into most people's mind: the sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle from McDonald's. So let's go down the line here and I'll show you the ingredients we're going to be using to make this. First off, we've got some protein pancake mix. I got this one at Trader Joe's because 1, it's a mile up the street from me, and 2, I really like Trader Joe's stuff. I've also used Kodiak pancake mix before, which is pretty good, but this one is absolutely excellent. It tastes the best. I like the consistency the best. Next up, we've got our breakfast turkey patties here, low in fat. It's only 3.5 grams per patty. Also got 2 large eggs. And again, back to my Trader Joe's, we got some light cheddar cheese. So first things first, turn on our pan. I'm gonna do like low, medium heat here because we're just gonna cook everything in the same pan. It makes it a hell of a lot easier. All right, next up, let's mix up our pancake mix. 1 serving of this has 40 grams. Let's see, I've got my food scale here. I highly recommend getting one of these. I got this one at Costco for like 20 bucks. You can find them at Target, Walmart, wherever. They're not that expensive, but this will help you make sure that you're hitting your serving sizes that are on the nutrition labels accurately, and you're actually accurately tracking your calories. All right, let's measure out 40 grams. Hey, we got 40, 41, close enough. One thing I want to stress with the food scale, don't feel like, you need to be absolutely dead on balls accurate. If you're close enough, that's fine. Mix it up with a little bit of water here. When you're done, this is about the consistency you want to go for here, just kind of like a thick soup. So to get that perfect round fast food out of the out of the mold shape, I'm going to be using these little silicone molds. I actually got these for Christmas, but you can find them, I'm sure, on Amazon for probably not much money, a couple bucks, whatever. Optional, highly recommend it. Give that a quick spray right there. These used to be a lot more non-stick pans, but I've just like worn them into the ground, so definitely need the cooking spray to make things non-stick. Pancake mix here, just enough to make that perfect circle. All right, time to flip these over. These have been cooking for about 2 minutes per side. Really, you just want to look for these little bubbles on top. That's how you know it's set. Next, time to make the eggs. Oh no, not the shell. No! Oh, there's nothing worse. Get on out of there! Well, whatever, it's close enough. So now we are ready to build our McGriddles, which is pretty straightforward. We're gonna take our cooked patties, and all you gotta do is just cook them in the microwave. Patty 1, patty 2. God, this pan sucks. Okay, no, alright, it doesn't suck. I've just used it so much where all the non-stick stuff is pretty much gone. Alright, shopping list. New pans. Put our little egg on there. The remnants of the eggs, as they basically got torn apart as I was picking them up off that pan. 1 single slice of cheese for each one. And the heat from the egg that you've just had on the stove, along with the pancake and the patty and everything, will just naturally melt the cheese, so you don't have to worry about that. Top it off with the other portion. Drizzle a little bit of maple syrup. I like Log Cabin, but you can use whichever brand you want. The brands in and of themselves don't matter too much when you're tracking your macros and everything. All you need to do is just make sure it's reflected accurately in MyFitnessPal or whatever app you're using. And there you go, your very own homemade egg, sausage, and cheese McGriddles. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Now when it's all said and done, each one of these McGriddles has 355 calories. It's got 29 grams of protein, 28 grams of carbs, and only 13 grams of fat. Pretty good. And by the way I got those numbers is I literally just plugged the ingredients that I used into MyFitnessPal and just read them off. So recipe number 1 down, your very own homemade egg, sausage, and cheese McGriddles from McDonald's. Next up on the list, another relatively simple one, Wendy's French toast sticks. Now this is actually the same basic French toast recipe I use pretty much all the time. We're just gonna do one extra thing to it to turn them from French toasts into French toast sticks. We got our brioche bread slices here. This is my favorite type of bread. You can obviously use any type of bread you want. A little bit of Log Cabin maple syrup. Got our large egg. Got our cinnamon. And we've got a little bit of vanilla extract. Crack our egg there. Boom. How smooth was that? Give it a quick whisk. Just gonna go like 1 tablespoon here of vanilla syrup. Half a teaspoon cinnamon. Vanilla extract, a little extra, whatever. Again, whisk up all our ingredients here. I'm gonna show you the one little trick I do at the end to turn them from French toast pieces of bread into French toast sticks. It's pretty easy, but it's a good little trick. In you go. If you have a little excess like this, I literally will just pour it on. Flip them over. We're going about, I like to do about low medium heat, 3 to 4 minutes per side. French toast number 1, French toast number 2. You're probably thinking, what in the hell? All you did was make French toast. That's not, what kind of bullshit is this? Well, the next step is to take these French toasts and turn them into French toast sticks. All we're gonna do, I got 2 words, air fryer. Chop them into our sticks. I feel like 4 is a good number. You don't want them to get too skinny. You want them to be a little bit, robust. So all you do to turn them from French toasts into French toast sticks is air fryer for 375, 400 for just like 3 minutes. Just enough to just like toast them a bit. Woo! Yeah, buddy. And there you go. Your own crispy French toast sticks, just like you would get from Wendy's. I think Burger King maybe has something like this too. I recommend an air fryer over a toaster because you don't want to get the inside of your toaster all like sticky with the maple syrup and all that. I want to try one of these right now. Oh my god, okay. It's like crispy on the outside, it's still soft on the inside, man. That is excellent. All right, next up is probably the most ambitious or crazy or however you want to describe it recipe on this list. Carl's Jr.'s breakfast burger. This thing is an absolute beast. Let's take a look at our ingredients for this one. We've got our burger bun. I honestly didn't look too closely when I got this one. I literally just bought the first bag that I saw that had sesame seeds on them. Got our 96% lean ground beef. Another slice of our light cheddar cheese from Trader Joe's. A slice of turkey bacon, the Jenny O kind. I think this kind, I've tried a lot of different brands of turkey bacon. This one is my favorite. It's the crispiest. It tastes the closest to like a real slice of bacon. Large egg. What else is new? You could buy potatoes. You could shred them up. You could soak them in water. You could do that to make hash browns. I just went and bought some it's all they are is just shredded up potatoes. Like how processed can they possibly be? Like what do they do to them besides shred them up and freeze them? Last but not least, our ketchup. I've got some 50% less sugar and sodium version here. First, we're going to measure out 4 ounces of our lean ground beef here. Just do that on the food scale. There we go, 3.9, whatever, close enough. The trick with patties in general, whether it be ground chicken, whether it be ground turkey, whatever, try to make them as thin as possible. I think they cook the best when they're thin. So this time you'll notice that I've got 2 pans going. It's just more efficient because we're going to be doing a few different things, and it's a lot easier to just have a couple things going at once instead of like, okay, the patty's cooked, now it's time to cook the potatoes. Just, I try and be as efficient as I can. So I weighed out about half a cup of these hash browns. And while those are cooking over here, cook the patty real quick, medium-high heat, like 4 to 5 minutes each side. Really, I'll flip these in a minute here, but I really just want both sides to be kind of like, just like a golden brown. Hash browns. Now, while these 2 things are cooking, I want to take a second to just tell you a little bit of the principles behind how I make these unhealthy recipes healthy. Rule of thumb, when you go out to any restaurant or fast food place or anything like that, the difference between making, The difference between their recipes there and recreating it at home, pretty much the difference is going to be, you know, when it comes to the calories and macronutrients, their version typically will have less protein and higher fat. And that's just because of, you know, the cuts of meat they use, the types of protein, the way they cook it, deep frying as opposed to air frying it, things like that. So really all I'm doing when I recreate these is I'm just, you know, the main principles are I'm using typically leaner cuts of meat to decrease the fat content, which at the same time also gives it higher protein. All right, time to plate up our burger. Patty goes on just like that. Slice of light cheddar cheese, let the heat from everything just naturally melt that. Now there's one final topping that we gotta put on, which is our egg, which all we're gonna do, pour it in. And just keep kind of swirling it until all the liquid goes away. You just put our egg on top there, slice of turkey bacon, and just pour some. Okay, you don't need to really worry about tracking stuff like ketchup, condiments, things like this. Ketchup is so low calorie that, you know, you can get obsessed with doing the whole tracking thing with, you know, weighing everything out on the food scale. For this, you could just eyeball it. Like, that's probably like a tablespoon or whatever. It's, you know, it's close enough. Like he says in Pulp Fiction, that is a tasty burger. And if you don't want to keep having to screenshot all this nutrition info, I'm going to put everything down in the description. I'm going to put the calories, the ingredients I used, the macros, all that. So just check the description if you want to have a little cheat sheet for the macros breakdown of all these recipes. All right, next up, this is probably the most drunk food on here, whether you consider having breakfast at like 9 a.m. or 3 a.m., hammered after going to the bars. This is the Taco Bell Breakfast Crunchwrap. We're going to do the sausage version just because I was already using sausage earlier, but they also have a bacon version, and if you want to do that, just use a couple slices of that Jenny-O turkey bacon that I used earlier. Well guys, you know the drill by now. Let's go down the line, check out our ingredients. You're going to use one of these big old flour tortillas. I don't mean to keep pushing Trader Joe's. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. This is just the grocery store that I go to most of the time because it's right up the street. Turkey sausage patties, a little bit of this, again, Trader Joe's, a little bit of this light Mexican blend cheese, a little bit lower fat with that, large egg, of course, and more of our shredded hash browns. Now first things first, before you get started, I'm going to show you a little trick that, well, is technically optional. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Toast your tortilla. Just do like a minute in the pan on both sides. It basically just keeps it from breaking when you fold it together. It helps, it'll keep you from pulling the hair out of your head. Very, very helpful. Same deal with the hash browns, gonna get them nice golden brown. You know, while this stuff's cooking, can we just like take a moment to appreciate how massive my arm looks? Now all we're gonna do with the egg is just scramble it up. You literally crack it right in the pan and just give it a quick scramble. That's all you gotta do. All right, now the assembly. So these should hopefully, yeah, they do. We'll stick together like that. We just put them on like so. Sausage down. Let's get our scrambled eggs down on that. Sprinkle like an ounce of the cheese here. The fold works really well if you just kind of do each little corner. Now we're just gonna cook it in the pan for just a few minutes on each side so the tortilla can really crisp up. You want to do this side down first. That way it doesn't explode open. I feel like I'm a drunk college kid again. Oh, this is awesome. Except that I'm a lot more shredded and I have a lot more hair now. That's a subject for another video. Last but not least on the list, I saved easily the simplest recipe of all, which is Chick-fil-A's Chick-n-Minis, which are chicken nuggets and biscuits. You guys really needed a YouTube video to figure that one out. So for our ingredients for these Chick-fil-A Chick-n-Minis, very simple. I'm actually going to show you the same technique I use whenever I'm like breading something. 4 ounces of chicken breast. I really, really like using the thin sliced chicken breast. It just saves you work. And again, the thinner the cut of meat is, I think it's way easier to cook. 1 egg. As I'm sure you've guessed by now, eggs are an integral part of a complete breakfast. These organic breadcrumbs, again from Trader Joe's. These are hands down the best breadcrumbs I have ever found. There's a lot of different panko breadcrumbs you can buy at the grocery store. These are easily my favorite. Got some of these sweet Hawaiian rolls. Now, I'm gonna show you a couple optional ingredients. You don't have to use these, you can if you want. Now those sweet Hawaiian rolls are pretty sweet already, hence the name. So you don't really have to do much to them. They're gonna taste good already. If you want to give them a little bit of an extra kick, you can actually make your own honey butter with some honey and light butter. Simple as that. Whisk our egg, which we're going to use for our egg wash. Now, if you want a lower fat option, you can use egg whites. I personally don't think they work as well. They just don't get the breadcrumbs to stick to them quite the same as a whole egg does. So recommend using a whole egg, but if you want to cut down the fat a little bit, you can use egg whites. They work well too. Next up, we're going to weigh out 4 ounces of the thin sliced chicken breast. You'll notice that I'm wearing a glove, and that is because you should not handle raw meat or raw animal products and just in general, but you especially should not handle raw chicken with bare hands. It's a really good way to get your kitchen full of bacteria and stuff like that. You don't want to get yourself sick, so either wear gloves or wash your hands right after. And next we slice it into our nuggets. So do half and half again. So as you can see here, while the air fryer is warming up over here, that's what that whirring sound is. I've got my little station, I've got my egg wash, I've got my breadcrumbs, and I've got my chicken. So all you're gonna do is dunk, dunk, air fryer. I feel like, just saying that makes me feel like I'm watching one of those 1950s like duck and cover videos.
So what will you do when you're trying to make chicken in the air fryer? That's right, Timmy. Dunk, dunk, and air fryer.
So, in we go. Popping these bad boys in. 375, 12 minutes, 6 minutes each side, flip them halfway. And halfway through, give it a little flippy. Flip, flip, flipperoo. Now again, another optional tip, you don't have to do this, but I really do recommend it, is the last couple of minutes that you've got this going in the air fryer, pull it out and toss in your biscuits or sliders, buns, whatever, just to kind of crisp them up. And it's not like you need to do this separately. I'm literally just going to toss them right in. The couple minutes, that's all it needs, but it really does make a difference. It just adds a little bit of crunchiness, makes them just a little more crispy. Now you don't want to burn them, so like a couple minutes, all you need. Look at that. Nothing to it, right? You know what they say, half of cooking, it's all in the display. Look at these bad boys. And you know, one nice advantage to these over actually going to Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays, and these are open whenever you feel like going in the kitchen and making them. These go really well with like a honey mustard sauce, which is, usually pretty low in calories. I think you can actually buy the Chick-fil-A sauce like at the grocery store now, so if you really wanted to be like authentic, you could do it that way. But there you go, Chick-fil-A's Chick-n-Minis. Well guys, that is it. Those are 5 fast food breakfasts and how to make them healthy. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you thought you got value out of it, if you'd like to see more stuff like this, please make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again everybody, I'll see you next time.